I'm done.
Oh, you're done?
Yep.
Sorry, I got this blue stuff on my fingernail there. I was trying to get
Watching too much Avatar?
I don't know what that means, but whatever. Hello and welcome to another episode of Popcorn Bucket List, and my New Year's resolution is to eat more popcorn than I already do. So I don't know how that's going to be possible, but I'll find a way.
We need to keep track. We need to have a board at the theater or something
popcorn,
in the back.
Yeah. I just mean in general, not just at the theater.
Okay.
I just mean like in general. Like I got a popcorn machine at home I don't use as often because I eat popcorn so many other places.
True.
It's being neglected. It needs to be used. It's like a fine car.
It should be every time you walk in, you smell that fresh popcorn.
I'll just, boom. I'll go down when I take out the trash, turn on the popper. By the time I come back up,
there you
fresh
go.
batch popcorn right there. Last week was a really fun episode, I thought. But a really long episode. So this one probably not going to be as long. We are going to get into a little bit of our own topic here again. And then, spoiler alert, there's really not much as far as movies coming out this weekend. So let's just get right into it, into the opening segment. As we're wrapping up this year, let's look at what was one of the biggest stories to end this 2022.
Still evolving stories.
Still evolving, yes. We've talked about DC Comics and their movies a lot on this show because I am a huge fan of them and I want them to do better. DC Comics movies is like the troubling child you have. You love them. They keep giving you headaches, but you want them to succeed no matter how many times they screw up. This is my troubled third child, I guess, to really push the metaphor. And we've talked a lot about it. And we're going to talk a little bit about the most recent developments because we really haven't got into it. But man, has a lot happened this past month. We're going to go over what we know, what's kind of rumored, what to look forward to here. You could really argue the beginning of this whole mess as it was really started with the Justice League movie and kind of the introduction of the Snyderverse. Now, we've talked enough about it that I don't think we really need to get into that, but it's kind of one of those, you ever seen that meme where like it's like a little domino and it keeps going into a bigger domino and it's always like a little event and then there's like this huge event that you wouldn't connect the two? Yeah. But it's like, this is basically that.
That's a really good example.
Something happened many years ago, way back in like 2017, and now we're here where we're in the middle of a mess. But you could really say the start of this story started late October, early November. It was reported that James Gunn, who is mainly known for the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise in Marvel, and his producing partner, Peter Safran, is going to take over the DCU, DC movies. This includes the movies, some TV stuff, some animation stuff. They're going to take over it. They're basically going to be the Kevin Feige, finally. We needed... That was what we were missing over in the DC side.
The headpiece.
We had Zack Snyder. He was doing a lot of the movies, but he wasn't really... I think he thought he was controlling the narrative, and then you had other people who thought they were controlling the narrative, and there was just no cohesiveness there, and that's part of the mess that happened. And then there just never was that one person who like took the reins and said, no, this is the way we're going. This is the stories that need to be told, how they need to be told. This is the way, yes.
Yeah. And I think right away, people were initially excited about that. People were happy. It's a bigger dude from Marvel coming over to DC to help guide the ship. They looked at that as a positive, I would say.
You look at it, the guy is known for making the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, one of the most popular Marvel movies. He's made The Suicide Squad, one of the most profitable DC movies. He's made Peacemaker. He's got a pretty good track record overall. So, I think a lot of people, including myself, was excited for this. But also, to be honest, I would have been excited for anyone just so, like, we have a sense of direction here. Just someone that we knew was steering the ship. So, officially, November 1st, they take over. That's their first day in the office. And it's a pretty quiet November. We just keep hearing rumors. Oh, this, that.
A lot of stuff.
And they're saying, like, look, we're just laying out the plan. We're going to figure out a 10-year plan. We're going to announce it here soon. December comes around. This is when crap doesn't hit the fan, but you can tell someone's winding up.
You can tell stuff is starting to
They're
move.
winding up. The blades are running. Really kind of one of the first things, I guess, was December 7th. Hollywood Reporter made an article that had some pretty big allegations, a lot of rumors coming out of that. James Gunn then tweeted the next day. James Gunn tweeting is going to be a very big, prominent part of this whole segment.
And going further, I think it will, into the future. Yeah. As long as he doesn't get kicked off Twitter.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
You never know. He basically says, like, look, an article was posted yesterday. Some of it's true. Some of it's not true. Some of it we haven't decided if it's true or not.
Yeah.
Which isn't me making a joke. That was actually what he said. So now it's starting to get confusing.
Yep.
A couple days later, December 13th, Patty Jenkins releases an official statement. She directed the first 2 Wonder Woman movies. One of the big things in the Hollywood Reporter was talking about Wonder Woman 3. This was probably going to be one of the bigger projects because Wonder Woman 1 was a huge hit box office critically. Yep. Wonder Woman 2,
not so much.
The fact that it was a side-by-side HBO Max release didn't really help it. So it really wasn't great finance. So as far as I was concerned, Patty Jenkins was one of 2. So I kind of wanted to see a third one just to see, like, tip it either way.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it seems like she's out. She might be focusing on some Star Wars projects that she was maybe going to be working on. We'll see from there. But then the rumor was, all right, Gal Gadot, is she in or out? Everything I've read, Gal Gadot is still in as Wonder Woman. This is one we're gonna keep a tally here. We might be updating it as it goes along. As of right now, Gal Gadot is still Wonder Woman. Let's see how else then the next day, December 14th, very next day. This is where it starts looking like the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones here. Henry Cavill comes out. He declares he will no longer be playing Superman. This is 51 days after he declared he was back as Superman.
Because we got it. We can't forget that part. He came out and said, I'm back as Superman.
This was back in October, back when Black Adam came out. And spoiler alert, Superman, played by Henry Cavill, makes a pretty cool cameo, I would say. And then they waited like a week to make sure it wasn't spoiled. Then Henry Cavill officially came out and said, I'm back.
Because Warner Brothers told him he needed to post or had to post that he was back as Superman. They said, all right, here's the ding, you're in, post about it, make waves.
Now, I want to say this. He's gone for now. If you look at the tweets, again, that James Gunn posted, I think Henry Cavill was a little bit more, and maybe he knows something more that we don't, but James Gunn kind of implied we don't see Henry Cavill as the Superman in this early phase.
The first phase.
We don't know a lot about what they're planning here. One thing we do know is one of their first projects is going to be a younger Superman.
Yep.
Almost picture the TV show Smallville, but we're going to do a movie kind of on that.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too, that late teen, early 20s kind of a Superman.
And so I think, hopefully, I still think there's hope Henry Cavill may come back way down the line. And I hope he wants to come back because I do want to see him as Superman.
I loved his Superman. His Superman was great.
And so then, December 14th, he says he's no longer Superman. Jump to a little less than a week later, Black Adam 2 is now officially not in the plan as well. Dwayne Johnson comes out and says, again, not in the early phase. There's a key word here that a lot of them are using that I think even Dwayne Johnson said, saying that they're not a part of the immediate 10-year plan, or as it's also been referred to as the first chapter. I think this is their way of saying, look, Marvel has phases. We're going to call ours first chapter because when you got to copy off someone's homework, you got to change it a little bit. So we're looking at the next 10 years as their first chapter, their first phase. And they're basically like, look, we don't see Black Adam this early on, maybe 10 years down the line. Now, 10 years away is a long time from now. So
is The Rock and Henry Cavill going to be in the same shape 10 years down the road? Who knows?
I mean, yeah, probably.
Yeah, they probably will.
Yeah, I mean.
And I also think we got to know in those tweets from The Rock, he said he loved Henry Cavill as Superman and wanted Henry Cavill as Superman. So whether or not that was kind of a team thing, there's all kinds of speculation on like the Rock's not doing another Black Adam because they have Henry Cavill gone. Whether or not that's true or not, we have no idea. It could just be they're both part of the next chapter and they're not worrying about it right now. But I do want to make that because those two at the end of that film look like they are going to have a face-off. And I think obviously they both really like each other and like their characters. So I think this was before the whole James Gunn thing, because you have to remember they made this movie a year and a half ago.
Dwayne Johnson's been working on this since 2007.
Yeah. And I believe in his mind, he had the whole time, as soon as he saw Henry Cavill up there, he thought, that's who I want to fight. That's the guy. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Marshall Update. As you know, we had the R&R combo, which was the large drink and the Reese's. Now we're changing it up. Just for a limited time only, you're getting a large drink and a large popcorn. It could be Coke, Diet Coke, Cherry Coke, Dr. Pepper, Mellow Yellow, Sprite. We got it all. This is the perfect time for you, maybe your friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, family, whatever, to get a large drink and a large popcorn. And with that, we'll see you at the movies.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
So this, again, they keep referring to a 10-year plan. Personally, I haven't have my life planned past January 2023.
Yeah.
That's about as far as I've planned. So
I can't even week planned.
I can't even imagine how hard it is to come up with a 10 years worth of productions. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking forward to see what they come out with. We don't know really a lot of information. Supposedly they're going to release it sometime in January. They said early 2023. So when that comes out, we'll update you as far as what's next for DC. But just to recap, because that was a lot.
It was a lot.
Cavill is out for now. Jenkins is out, but Gal Gadot is still in.
Yep.
Dwayne Johnson is out for now. Ben Affleck, who we didn't talk about, he also had a meeting with James Gunn, is reportedly out as Batman, but here's another layer for you.
Yep.
He is in for a potential directing role. What movie he will be directing, we do not know. However, he seemed really interested to direct again. James Gunn really wants him to direct a movie, so we'll have to see what production he gets stuck onto. And we still have no freaking clue about what's going on with The Flash.
Yep. And what about Aquaman?
That's actually something I forgot to write down as well. So Aquaman with Jason Momoa is another thing. This is another one I'm going to say heavily rumored. We don't know. We know Aquaman 2 with Jason Momoa is coming out next year. We know that for sure. A lot of fans have kind of jokingly said, myself included, we like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I really do. Surprisingly, I do. At first I didn't, but now I do. But a lot of fans have kind of looked at him like, we kind of missed an opportunity here. There's another DC character he would have been perfect for. It's a character named Lobo. He's basically a intergalactic bounty hunter with like punk rock hair. I'll put up a side by side here. You'll see what I mean when it looks like Jason Momoa would have been perfect. There are rumors after this Aquaman 2 comes out, he will no longer be playing Aquaman, but will be playing Lobo in a future movie. Well, with that, let's move on to something a little less complicated, the weekly preview. We only got a few movies to talk about here. Obviously, with the holiday weekend, no new releases come out. No new releases come out really the next day or the next week. So
and especially with Avatar still in the theaters, nobody wants to compete with Avatar.
And so you'll notice no new theater releases this week. Just a couple streaming ones here to come out.
Yep.
This December 30th, Friday. I don't like the way I worded that, but we're just going to keep moving here. I'm tired. I overslept. Coming out on Friday, December 30th, White Noise. This is coming out on Netflix based on a book of the same title that came out in the 1980s. It stars Adam Driver, Greta Gerwig, and Don Cheadle. Basically, a small-town family grapples with trying to stay happy in a world after an ecological disaster occurs nearby. Basically, a train crash with a bunch of chemicals happens. It explodes. It's kind of like Chernobyl, but with trains.
And you're in a small town.
Family got to get out of there. It talks about...
I was going to say they're driving through the cornfields, and then at one point their car's in a river, and then it looks really
trying
funny.
to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
It does kind of have that dark comedy feel that director Noah Baumbach is known for.
Yep.
He's worked with Adam Driver before, most recently with Marriage Story, and that one got some Oscar praise.
Yep.
So I think this is just that one last bid, trying to get in right before the end of the year for the Oscars here. And also coming out that same weekend, Wildcat. This is coming to Amazon Prime. An Afghanistan vet finds new purpose in helping train a baby wildcat as it prepares to be reintroduced into the wild. And finally, we get a documentary about a big cat that does not involve Tiger King.
Yep.
Which is, that's a breath of fresh air. This one actually makes me feel good about people and everything, other than Tiger King, which made me weep for humanity.
Yes. Yeah, the cats... so far, as we could tell in the trailer, are still alive.
Yes.
And the people that were in it are still alive.
Still alive.
So, yeah.
Oh, man, what a crazy world we live in. But, yeah, it's basically just they work in this, like, refuge thing in the jungle. A lot of scary wild animals at night. Yep. He tries to teach you to hunt. What's crazy is, so, unfortunately, I didn't check out this trailer till this morning when I was getting ready to come here. I had a dream very much like this the night before, which is kind of creepy. I'm not an outdoorsy kind of guy. I don't trust myself to survive in these scenarios, so I could not make it in this world. But yeah, it's showing the cat like having to fight against other animals and like hunt, and like there's like a snake or whatever. And I just remember having a dream like the night before where like I had to fight off an alligator, which is like one of my biggest fears right now.
That's funny.
Just for some reason. And it, like, so this trailer just gave me the heebie-jeebies. I'm not going to lie. But it looks inspiring.
It does. It looks very inspiring. You're very classic documentary, inspirational, feel good about yourself and the world, and you can do better, and let's all work together and save the animals.
Yeah. But that is everything coming out this weekend. Let's move right into some number one recommends. Ryan, I'll let you kick us off first because I think you went last week. So What are you recommending?
So kind of a little different this week. So as the new year's approaching, I just want to remind everybody, Sci-Fi Channel, if you have cable, they are playing the Twilight Zone. It's a Twilight Zone marathon, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. The Twilight Zone was one of my favorite shows of all time. Each show is very individual and very different. I don't care if you are referring to the Rod Serling ones, the original episodes, or the new ones from a couple years ago that Jordan Peele did. Absolutely fantastic. The stories are great. The acting's great. It's very off. Some of them are very unsettling, to say the least. And also you get the classic episodes where the alien lands on the ship and at the farm place, and it's a lady attacking the aliens the whole time, and then it turns out, the aliens are the United States. That's us. She's the alien, not the little green people running around. So they're just very, they have a good way of like turning stories on their head and making you think about things differently, and I really enjoy them. So I just want you guys to remember that and check it out this weekend, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Or I believe they're on like Paramount or Peacock, so you can check them out there.
My recommend this week is possibly vying for one of my favorite movies of the year. It's for sure in the top 3. Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. I love the first one. I love this one. Watch it and then watch it again. You're going to want to watch it twice because, and the movie talks about this, there are so many layers to this mystery, but specifically there's so many layers to the dialogue and the script and the foreshadowing throughout this movie that you're going to want to watch it the first time to see the mystery and be surprised by it, and then you're going to want to watch it the second time to see how many times Rian Johnson wrote in so many clues that are smacking you in the face about the plot twists and everything that's going on here that you completely missed the first time.
All right.
even at one point, me and a friend of mine who was watching this, we were like watching and we're like, oh, look at that. That's foreshadowing to what's, or like a reference to what's already happened and everything. And then I even looked into it, and there's actually even another layer to that one thing that I didn't even know existed, that it was actually implying and everything. So this movie's crazy fun, really funny. The music around it is great. Daniel Craig is great. Everyone's great. This stacked cast. Rian Johnson, 2 for 2 in the Knives Out franchise. I watch these movies and I do think to myself, why couldn't he have nailed Star Wars a little bit better? Because there's about 50% of that movie that I love, and there's about 50% of that movie that I hate.
Yeah.
And that 50% I love, I'm like, oh yeah, this is great Rian Johnson stuff. And then there's that other 50% where I'm like, did someone else write this half of the script? What's going on here? But yeah, great movie. Check it out on Netflix. Check it out with your friends, your family, as many people as you can. But that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. If you have any of your own movie, TV show recommendations, be sure to let us know in the comments down below. And for myself and Ryan Meyerberg, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next year.